So today we got an AMA from the developers of CryoWar, and this was mainly focused on the gameplay aspects of CryoWar and what's coming in the future. We got a lot of really good questions asked and a really good set of answers. I'm very excited to go over this with you, so let's take a look. Schmo asks about matchmaking, and Loxy's answer was that the ELO ranking system is going to be used, so they're going to be able to matchmake really well. Also, Loxy made a really good point about how if you're in a 1v1v1, you don't have to be the best on the map, you just have to take advantage where you can find it. So the other question was by Schmo as well. And Schmo asked whether or not there's going to be a penalty system for AFK or rage quitting. Loxley said those players are going to receive a warning or no rewards for that match, and then if they do quit, they're going to be replaced with an AI. In the tourney though, if you rage quit, you're going to get a temporary ban, and you may even be banned from further tournaments, but if it keeps going, you're going to get more severe consequences. You may even be perma-banned. Kiyonari asked the next question, will there be any passive skills, combos, special attacks, etc. that we can look forward to? And Loxley, I think, had a really good answer to this, that there are already passive skills in the game, so when you switch a character, there are buffs that happen, but the combos and all that, so you press this button, that button, the next button, and then X happens, they aren't going to incorporate that because they want it to be as personalized and as varied as possible, so it's going to come down to each individual player. The next question that we got was about whether or not there's going to be a guild system or an ally playing ability. Yes, they've already decided to incorporate guilds. Players are going to be able to play together in the future after the first major update. Schmo also asked, are there plans for team matches or will it always be PvP and PvE? Yes, with the introduction of friends and guilds, we're going to be able to play in a team. It's going to give us a lot of different strategies. So you're going to have to choose your teammate wisely and use the right heroes to complement each other in those strategic team battles. The next question was, is there going to be better targeting, cooldowns, or cancellation of animations? Yes, they're in the middle of a huge update to the current combat system, and the UI is going to be improved as well. Players are going to be able to test the upgraded combat system in the next beta or even in the open beta. Is there a plan to expand the lore for CryoWar? Yes, writers are expanding it already every day. The story behind lands and how they're a symbol of power is going to be explained, and then in articles coming up about the story and how that relates to the game itself. Kylarium asked if when we're playing in PvP matches, will there be any items or buffs? And with an emphatic yes, and they're thinking about introducing energy, which means that the player will pick up energy for their skills. Some of these items will actually upgrade the characters in the game mode, which will provide lots of variety, and that's coming in the future. Kylarium also asked how the armor will work, and it looks like characters are going to have their armor and their stats completely static. There is no armor upgrade that you're going to be able to add in the future or something that will change the actual character itself. Like we just talked about, we're likely going to have items in each different game mode that will enhance the gameplay and the game mode itself. The next question was about whether or not we're going to get a ping system, and Loxy said yes, they're currently working on an emote system that's being developed, and they're going to have a chat system in the future. A question was asked about crafting. Loxy said players will be able to collect materials to craft new skins, then later for accessories, and then further customization of the armor. There's a lot of focus on the aesthetics of the item or the skins, but there's going to be lots to collect in the game. The question was asked about cross-platform balancing. The answer that we got from Loxley was a re-emphasis on his history within the esport gaming world. So the game was designed specifically for mobile for years, and the ELO ranking system will take into consideration what platform you're on. He also reiterated that to play at the highest level, you are going to want to pick the correct platform. He said that in the tournaments, they may require each player to have the same exact platform, and in this way, it'll help with the matchmaking. But especially the ELO ranking system is there to act as a counterbalance for whatever platform differences there might be. Are there any plans for a story mode? Yes, there are plans for a story mode, but what they're planning on right now and what they're focusing mainly on is gameplay. So we are going to get a really good multiplayer game, and then we'll have incorporated within the game a really good PvE aspect as well. Unfortunately for this next question, I didn't actually get what the question was. I just got the general question that was asked. But Loxley's answer was that he's not from the technical team. The services for the platform are being hosted on the best services within the industry. They're going to have the ability to scale instantaneously and in every continent when the game does become publicly available. Pokemon asked a question about whether there's going to be legendary quests. Loxley was pretty clear. They're not going to technically have a legendary quest, but there are going to be a bunch of different missions that you can complete with various objectives, and some may take a day, some may take a week. It's going to be a journey at this point with a lot of different steps. So expect very different quests. So then he moved on to the question that I asked about whether there's going to be a safe zone or a way to prevent spawn camping. Currently, there's no implementation right now, but the next beta has a spawn protected zone, and the focus is going to be to prevent spawn camping and to force players to play in the center of the map. My question was, can we make it so that Artemisia can blink through walls, including Citadel's walls? He says that you can actually do that it takes skill, and that you have to gauge the distance correctly. I'm going to test that, and I'm going to look into that because I've tried and I haven't been able to do that. So I'll call you out, Loxley. We'll see what happens. If you're right, you're right, and I'll freely admit that, and I'm excited to try that. Another question I asked was, will there be a change to the self-feeding ultimate or special abilities? And he almost didn't even listen to the rest of the question because that was a bug. It wasn't supposed to be that way, and it's not going to be that way in the future. And then one more question that I asked was about the Citadel wall and whether we can get a directional for that. And he just reminded us that the combat system is going through a lot of changes, a new aiming system for every archetype, and a drastic improvement for next closed beta. Every skill will have a manual or an instant placement capability. Loxley addressed the fact that there were a lot of tokenomics questions in the AMA, but he reminded everybody that at this point, this AMA was specifically for gameplay. So I really hope that you like these new bits of information and these questions that were answered. It's really, really good to hear from the developers, especially since we are so hyped on this game and we want to know as much as possible. What was really cool at the very end too was that we were offered a new tease for some artwork and for some of the development that's coming out. I'll show you right here one of the pieces of art. Look at this. It looks so good. I love that they're developing more and more. I love the fact that the name of the piece of artwork is called Arena Redesign. So they are moving forward and they're trying new iterations. I'm really excited for the updates that are coming. The next beta that's going to come out hopefully really soon. I'm really stoked to play this with everybody who's been watching, everybody who's been following CryoWar. We're going to have a lot of fun. See you in the arena.